Let's make a video game. I've had a dream to become a game developer since I was like 10 years old. And it all began with a game called Nox. If you ever played Diablo 2 or any similar kind of game, I strongly suggest that you try Nox. There could be a working version out there somewhere. But my friend and I basically created a clone of it. And we named it Temple of Darkness, because it was the best name ever at the time. What we did was basically create two character classes, and those classes aligned with the fantasies that we identified with at the time. He wanted to be a ranger with a bow, and I wanted to have a large axe, and for some reason have a red cloak, because the red cloak was very important to me. And that was it. We created the game, we played it in our own heads, we killed imaginary skeletons with sticks and defeated the final boss, and it was a world record run. And after that, the dream kind of stayed in the back of my head, but never really materialized into something real. So, early 2023, I was discussing with my best friend about developing an indie game ourselves. And he offered ideas, and I was there to code because I started doing some Unreal Engine courses in preparation. It was going to be a hobby that I do in my free time, and he would join in when he had a good idea to share. And I still stand by those ideas, and if the ultimate plan of opening my own game dev studio ever comes to be true, we will be making at least one of those potential games. But fast forward to 2023 New Year's Day, and I was feeling really down that particular day, and I needed something to occupy me. And there was this one video game that was in the back of my mind for quite a while. And it was something that something that I know really well. A stealth horror game with an unkillable stalker enemy. Something like Alien Isolation, because Alien Isolation is still a game that I consider to be a champion in the genre. And if you're going to take inspiration from something, you should actually copy the best, at least in my opinion. But this was something I needed to do on my own. I knew the genre, I know horror, I've been playing horror video games my whole life, I've been reading horror, so it's something I should do on my own. The game is in development technically for about 2.5 years, but realistically it's only in development for 6 months, because I've been working on it on and off since 2024. Then about a month ago, the best thing that could happen for my game happened. I got fired. If you ever need a wake-up call, that's probably the best one there is for something like this. And since then, I started working seriously on the game again. So, let's meet the protagonist. Like I've said already, it's a stealth horror game with an unkillable stalker enemy, so that means we have two major characters. Mike is the player character, and I will talk about the main star of the show a little bit later. In Alien Isolation, Ripley is an engineer, so that reflects in a crafting system that I like, but I wanted to go in a different direction. I decided to make Mike a hacker, and the game setting to be sort of a cyberpunk-inspired future. This results in some cool gameplay ideas that I believe will be entertaining to use in a stealth game like this. Mike has this sort of a headset that helps him scan interactable items in the game. He can scan doors, security cameras, terminals, and something I named birthing pods, but more about those later. Each of the scannable items has a code that Mike gets access to after scanning it, and after accessing a terminal, he can use commands combined with codes he scanned to hack into those items. So what happens? Doors get unlocked, cameras get breached and added to his camera feed that he can access at any time, and other interactions that I still need to refine, and some I want to keep a secret. Because you have to be precise with your typing while using the terminal, I believe that the stress of hearing the stalker's footsteps coming close will result in some cool, tense moments. The don't fix what ain't broken philosophy still works. I implemented the standard fetch quest interactions as well. Resident Evil style. Currently I'm working on an interaction camera similar to Resident Evil as well, I think it evokes a similar feeling for people that play the games and gives a good reminder of the horror style that we all love. Everything you see here is an early alpha build, maybe not even that. So a lot of it, at least the visual side, might change, and there are a lot of bugs that need to be fixed and refined. The plan is to finish all of the basic features regarding the enemy AI and do some final polish before releasing a demo on Steam. The level that you see right now has all of the story elements to it completed. So the setup for the demo is there. I just need to refine all the features. This project will still be a hobby, but this time my primary hobby. And who knows what can actually happen. But at the end of the day, I kind of need to be realistic about this, because the chances of this game blowing up, if it ever gets finished, are very minimal. It's a niche genre, and the best thing I can hope for is to get back the money I invested into it. But the good thing about all of this is that I don't really care about that. I would like to create a game that I want to play and I can be proud of. And as long as I finish it, and it's forever on Steam, I have fulfilled my childhood dream. And that's more than I could ever ask for. Before I finish this first devlog, but it's more like an introduction devlog rather than a first devlog, because I will show the game in more detail later on, I promised to introduce you to the main star of the show.